welcome to the latest Siemens Partner Podcast edition, a podcast for partners to give some insight, perspective and dive into the world of Siemens. We will be discussing various issues, challenges and gaining insight from our esteemed guests. So let's get going. Today's guest is Mark Harrison, General Manager of our Electrical Products business. So welcome, Mark, to the Siemens Partner Podcast from sunny Manchester. How are you?
Hello, Mark. Very well. For a Monday, Monday afternoon. So the hard part, the Monday morning, is out of the way. So, all good.
Excellent. So, to get things going, I ask all my guests this question. You're hosting a dinner party for 5 people. You are one of them. What other 4 people would you invite, either dead or alive, but they must be famous?
Right. So obviously you gave me a bit of a heads up about this. So I had a long, hard think about it. But first of all, I think the chances of me hosting a dinner party are very slim, to be honest. I'm more of a few pints down the pub kind of bloke. But I think if I did host a dinner party, you'd want it to be interesting, wouldn't you? So I'd go for 2 sets of 2 polar opposite people. So what I'd go for the poshest person you could think of. So probably someone like King Charles. Right. And I know it's not a real person as such, it's a character, but then I'd offset that with Frank Gallagher from Shameless, and I'd sit them 2 next to each other. And then I think what other 2 polar opposite people could get. So I'd get the epitome of good and the epitome of evil. But I know that's kind of subjective and I don't want to upset anybody because people believe in different things. So they would have to be fictional people. So I'd have Yoda and Darth Vader. So that would be King Charles, Frank Gallagher, Yoda and Darth Vader. And then I'd just throw in some really mundane topics of conversation, see where it goes. And see how long it is until Darth Vader does that choky force thing and so it starts to
that has got to be the most diverse answer we've ever had on the Partner Podcast, to be fair, Mark.
Well, hence the reason I would never have a dinner party.
Yeah, okay. Actually, I should have rephrased it. If you're down the pub with 4 or 5 people, okay, that's fine. It's my own fault. Okay. There's a few areas I wish to cover in the time we have. And the first one is, what is our electrical products business? As you're the general manager of electrical products, what are they?
Yeah, and it's a fair question, and it's very misleading. And if I'm honest, I think it's got to be the worst name for a business unit within Siemens. We love our acronyms and stuff like that, but in 2020, when Electrical Products was formed, if you like, it was an amalgamation of our old CP business, which is Control Products. So our customers listening will probably be familiar with the Sirius brand name. So all things Control Products come under that Sirius brand. But in 2020, just coincided with COVID quite inconveniently, we merged with the low voltage switchgear side of the business, which is the Centron brand. So if you know our big power breakers, circuit breakers. Yeah. So in a nutshell, it's low voltage control and switchgear, but the name kind of suggests we sell toasters and hairdryers and fridges and that kind of stuff. It's not that kind of electrical products. It's very derogatory and it annoys me sometimes, but it's the clickety-clack side of things. But all very necessary and all becoming more and more intelligent these days. So that's what
intelligent clickety-clack. Yeah, is that what you're trying to tell me?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for that sort of very precise overview. At least we know now. So, first of all, in general, how are you finding things in the market for LV control and switchgear currently?
Yeah. Very good. In fact, I don't want to jinx it, but I don't think it's any secret over the last 3 or 4 years we've all had our troubles. You know what I mean? The wider Siemens business and actually our customers themselves with the various hangovers from things like COVID and wars in Ukraine, supply chain issues, and then that led to overstocking within our partners, which led to a bit of a slump in our sales over the last couple of years. But I'm pleased to say, as we stand at the moment, touch wood, I'm touching the desk there at the moment, but it's going really well. So our Siemens financial year, you may or may not know, runs from October to October. So we're midway through quarter 2 now. Quarter 1 was very, very good. well above where we forecasted, which is fantastic, and it's going well in Q2. And what's refreshing is the on-top projects and things we're winning, rather than plugging a gap in our shortfall in sales. It is actually, as it suggests, it's an on-top now. So as it stands at the moment, pretty good, and we've got some good technology coming out, which is bolstering that as well. So yeah, as it stands at the moment, rather positive.
So that's brilliant. The way things are going. You've got a team under you that sort of go out, support.
Yeah.
How do they sort of work together with maybe an account manager type in an account that we may have, or a distribution partner? How does this sort of fit in the grand scheme of things?
I'm sure everybody listening won't be that interested in the makeup and the politics within Siemens sort of thing, but we're a bit of a strange business unit. So we sit in the smart infrastructure sector. However, we pretty much 100% go to market through DI. Right. So I have a team of product managers, 4 or 5 product managers who cover the various portfolios. Then I have sales specialists within the EP business unit. And if anybody knows Nick Stevenson, he's the longest serving one. I'm sure you've engaged with him over the years. So Nick's role as a sales specialist for electrical products is to be that specialist support to the wider digital industries, account managers, area sales managers, vertical. So even though the headcount within the BU I manage is relatively modest, it's about 15 people, the wider go-to-market headcount that we actually partially fund is huge. It's the same as your factory automation business and motion control, whatever. So having said that, we use exactly the same DI distribution partners. So our 2 biggest automation partners, who are your Palm Green and Underwoods, and then we have a sub-level of products specifically, and of course all the solution partners, just like the other. It's
quite
units.
Well strategically structured.
Yes,
that's the word I'd use.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay, that's absolutely great. I just really wanted to sort of touch on a bit on the product a little bit, but not too much. In many cases, LV is a Me Too product. Yeah, you've got many players in the marketplace. How does SIEP, as we like to use acronyms within Siemens, differentiate themselves from the competition? Yeah,
and again, very, very fair question. So the core of our business, and I'll not dress this up to be anything other than what it is to sell as many grey boxes as we possibly can. We joked about it, calling it click-clack before, but it is. For the core of the product is exactly that. It's how many 4 kilowatt contacts, how many 5.5 kilowatt contacts, how many circuit breakers we can sell, how many push buttons we can sell. However, to your point, Mark, ABB does that, Schneider does that, Rockwell does that, and they're all good products. There's nothing that special about ours. I'm biased. I always think ours are better quality, whatever, but we're never going to be the cheapest in the marketplace. So unless you differentiate yourself in some certain way, you're always going to be in a race to the bottom on that. But it's nothing new. The products we sell have been becoming more and more intelligent as the years have gone by. The way they integrate into the tier environment and whatever, and what information you can get out of it, and that trend is continuing. But again, we're not the only people doing that. So probably a few years ago now, we had to take a step backwards and say, okay, how do we differentiate ourselves? Well, it's about our approach to selling the products. So we've got to be more consultative, and we have been more consultative about selling solutions using our products, not just the products themselves. Because if you just turn up at a customer with a bag full of, bits and bobs and start showing them, then you're on the back foot straight away, sort of thing. So it's how you give that value add to the customer. And we've got things in place now which are doing exactly that. I mentioned Nick Stevenson as a sales specialist before. We've got a sales specialist within the business unit now called the ICP specialist, which is integrated control panel specialist. And it's his job to go and effectively consult with, whether it be an OEM, whether it be a panel builder and whatever, and give that value add. We're not telling them how to build their panels, but we're showing them how we can optimize them. Mm-hmm. There may be an opportunity for an OEM to get into the UL market, which is a whole different way of doing things. They may not know too much about UL, and to put somebody in their business is a big investment in time and cost. Yeah. What we're saying is that consultative piece is free on the gentleman's agreement, if you like, that you use our products on the back of it. So, it's just being a little bit smarter about how we go to market and how we promote them intelligent products.
Okay, so when you're saying about intelligent products, we did a live solution partner update a week or so ago, and Scott Bailey was on it, talking about intelligent products, and I did give him a bit of grief about intelligent clickety-clack, like I always do, which he took very well. So that's the sort of thing we're thinking that you're talking about, as well as your consultative selling and adding value in areas like that. Yeah. So it must be quite exciting, then, is it? With what's going on, etc., within the marketplace, and then what you're doing.
Yeah. So you mentioned Scott there, and one of Scott's primary focuses this year is the 3RC7, which I'm not pretending that anyone you will know what that is at this point, but it's an intelligent link module, and I'm really excited about it. And it's on this trend of them pretty mundane Me Too products becoming more and more integrated into the automation system. In a nutshell, I'm not going to go off on a producty tangent here, but the bit that sits in between a contactor and a circuit breaker can now, actually does form an integral part of the PLC rack. So it's not an addressed product with a Profinet address or whatever. It actually becomes part of that ET200SP rack. So it can be controlled directly from the automation system, but also the information you get out of it goes directly back in. So it's the next step, the next evolution in the cycle of intelligent control gear, really. And it's I'm excited about it. And what's good as well is we haven't done the normal Siemens thing where we invent something and go, there's no competition on the market for it, let's price it way out of everybody's reach. It's reasonably priced when you weigh everything up with the wiring times and whatever. Yeah. It will actually be that cost saving as well as an efficiency saving. So look out for that. If you see Scott doing any like Mark said, I think he already has
done one with us and the distribution side as well. He's done the same thing.
He'll be doing a lot of interaction with the distribution partners as well, promoting that product. And I do think there's a gap in the market for it there. Yeah. So I think we can do very well.
Okay. So that's absolutely great. We've come to the halfway point in the first part of this partner podcast with yourself. So thanks, Mark, and we'll be back shortly.
Thank you.